That's 10.
That's about 10 seconds.
Not
I
about
thought
that.
that's
That
just
was
like
10.
one solid line.
Yeah. Also because it's zoomed
zoomed
out.
out.
That's the thing. Hi guys.
Hey, it's been a bit.
It's been a week.
A hot minute.
A hot week. A cold week. It was cold over there.
It was decent.
Oh, it was nice over there.
It was
Over
decent-ish.
here, it was warm.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was it? Oh, okay.
It got a little bit
Like,
fresh.
there were like 1 or 2 mornings where like
Yeah.
you could pick up the window.
Yeah, and then yesterday it got a little bit chilly, but other than that, we had like a warmish week.
It's
Yeah.
considerably nice outside right now.
Yesterday
though.
was nice too. Yesterday was nice. It was nice and cool. And hey, maybe later tonight we can have some coffee outside or something because
Hell yeah.
it's nice tonight. I think it's gonna go back up though this week
nice.
because of course it is.
Yeah,
Because Texas is just
Texas
can't decide what the fuck it wants to do with its weather. But this is The Order,
Yep.
and technically episode 2 of Game and Dine, right?
Yeah.
Because last week we had Japanese Cuisine episode 1,
yes,
which is up on the channel now.
which
You want to
I'll
read it
probably,
by its full name though?
I don't. What was it called again? I don't remember. I really don't.
It's Japanese Cuisine episode 1. Welcome to the Dog Dick Express.
Welcome to
Hell
the dog.
yeah.
Why isn't that like an anime that you guys have created yet?
Because
should
it's
be.
already it's an existing anime.
It is an existing. We talk about it. And we talk
Did you?
about,
Clearly
we talk
you didn't
about the
finish
Dog
it.
Dick
I listened to.
Express.
I listened to the whole thing.
It's called Inuyasha.
Oh, that's what you're referring
That's
to.
what
It's Dog Dick
Oh,
Express.
okay.
The Dog Dick Express.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know any more than that. That's good enough for me. But,
Clearly, you forcibly wiped your mind up from
No.
the last half maybe.
Yeah,
No.
the last 40 minutes, maybe.
The last
the
40.
last, the thing's an hour. It's like
last-
an hour episode. I'm just
well,
bad with anime stuff. So
I'll-
bad with it.
I'll probably be talking about that during the leftovers because that was my week basically.
I'm interested. I was meaning to ask you over Facebook like how all that went, but yeah, we'll talk about it then.
Yeah.
But yeah, hi, I'm Todd, one of your hosts, and to my right I have Capello as always. Hi Capello.
Hello.
And of course to my left, the one, the only, at least that I'm aware of, Benny Garza. Hi, Benny.
I am clone 7 out of 15. So yeah.
7 out of 15.
Hell yeah.
Are the rest of you okay, or are they dead?
I don't know yet. I'll find out when I see him. Usually it's a bad thing when you see your doppelganger. I've been
Yeah, it
told.
is.
Number 7 was the complacent one. Like the other ones all went out into the world to complete their primary objective, which we don't know what that is, but we have this one.
Right. We have this one.
The complacent model.
The complacent model. It's the one that was built to act like the good son.
Who was in that? Was that Macaulay Culkin?
Yeah.
Don't die yet.
Macaulay Culkin and
Elijah Wood?
Elijah Wood. Yeah.
Hyper aging
I
due
was
to
going to say
cloning.
Topher Grace for some reason. but
Topher?
that's-
No, please.
It's
no.
Elijah Wood.
We don't
yeah.
need Topher Grace in the world anymore. That's terrible. I'm just kidding.
After that 70s show, no more.
I liked him in Inception. He was in Inception for a hot minute, and that was about it.
Yeah.
He also did a movie with Richard Gere.
Richard Pryor.
Richard Gere, where he was like a double. It was a dumb movie. He was like a double agent, like a Russian, and then it was dumb. It was not believable. But we're not here to talk about Russian agents or what they've done to this country in the past couple months. But we're here to talk about gaming news
Yes. There was actually some this week.
in a time where it's surprisingly quiet. You know, because we're revving up for the big releases of the beginning of the year. First one was
this next month has
Resident Evil.
major.
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah.
not this next month.
This month.
This month
We're in the
We're
February.
we're in there.
Yeah. Oh my god, I can't believe we're in February already.
There's some real good releases
Yeah,
coming
there-
out this
there are.
month, man.
I'm super excited about one in particular, but we'll save that for later. But yeah, Capello, what's the first item?
So, our first item on the list is about Devolver Digital,
Right.
who is offering
Good
to...
guy, Devolver
Good guy,
Digital.
Devolver Digital, offering to showcase games from overseas for GDC, the Game Development Conference, in regards to developers who can't show off their games due to the very controversial Muslim ban.
Yeah.
So they've offered to be the ones to showcase foreign games.
Right.
You know, they themselves, I believe, are a Swedish company.
I was under the impression they were an American company, but I think they're an American company. We probably shouldn't research. American company that publishes a lot of stuff from overseas. I think.
Okay.
I could be wrong. Could be wrong.
Don't kill
me.
Something
right.
like that.
Yeah.
I'm not as versed in Devolver as I probably should, considering
they're
what
excellent
what a
publisher.
great publisher
yeah.
they are.
They're the darling of the world of the gaming industry. I think.
Yeah, they've provided a lot of just excellent indie games. So,
right.
Yeah, they will be they're offering to showcase for developers affected by this Muslim ban, which like we won't get into politics. Obviously, everybody has differential opinions.
Yeah.
You know, each of our individual opinions doesn't necessarily represent the NPC party as a whole.
Agreed.
But typically pretty shitty.
Yeah.
That being said, this provides just a small little almost light in the darkness.
It's a glimmer of hope.
Yeah, it's a company doing a good thing.
Yeah.
For the sake of gaming.
And it's not something that we haven't seen before, but I think it's very telling about the state of the industry and how the industry as a whole is kind of reacting to what's going on in this country in particular. A question I had that I don't think I read the entire article, and these are not just necessarily games that they're publishing. They're just offering to, give them space and airtime to show their stuff.
Yeah, it's in fact, I think that offer was exclusively games that they're not publishing themselves.
Wow, that's incredible.
It's all for those that they're giving them that space.
Right, that we're going to attend.
Mm-hmm, yes.
I can't think of a lot of companies that would do such a thing.
It's a nice thing.
Yeah, especially for something they're not publishing or making a profit off of, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's super cool, and I think that's going to be like a trend that we're going to see in the industry going forward. We've already seen, it's not really big news, but I think I saw Insomniac and a couple of their studios kind of release statements, coming together as studios and giving their opinion, condemning the ban and everything, because it affects everyone. It affects them in particular. I would imagine that there are people in the industry that work at these huge companies that are directly affected by the ban, who are,
quote, problem countries.
The problem countries?
Yeah, the problem countries.
I believe that was a title that was given to them during the Obama presidency. I think they were called, I think they were either problem countries or countries that you should be paying attention to or something.
Yeah, they're countries that the Obama administration originally said that we should keep an eye on these countries.
Right.
That now, they had something, a similar policy, but clearly the Trump administration decided to step up and instigate a full, block from these particular countries. Like I said, we won't get much into the politics. We want to focus way more on the fact that Devolver Digital is doing something really great, and something that to just continually unify the gaming community as we all hope.
Yeah. And I don't want to get out of this realm too far, but as someone who's really into film, there is a director that's up for an award. I believe his documentary is up for an award, who literally can't attend the Oscars because of this, and it's just not cool. I mean, it's not cool for anyone, right? But then you hear about, for me personally, I hear about that. It's like, man, that really just sucks. You're going to be commended for the incredible work you've done, and then you can't
go to the area.
You can't even show up for your award that you can possibly win, which is an Oscar, which is for a lot of people, it's a big deal, right?
In gaming terms, it's much like Konami stopping Kojima from accepting that award.
You can't go pick it up.
I think it's a fair comparison to make.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the equivalent. Perhaps the Oscars have a bit more weight to them.
Yeah, they do.
But I mean, really, the divide between the prestige of film and gaming is always getting smaller and smaller.
It is. So, it is absolutely.
We have giants like Kojima who are basically the equivalent of an Oscar winner. You know?
He's a Steven Spielberg.
Yeah,
he's really up there. But in the meantime, I think I'll just say that, we don't know exactly what's going to happen with this ban. Actually, as of recording, I'm just going to mention really quickly, I believe a federal judge from Washington basically stopped all of it, and then Homeland Security came in, I think today even, if I recall, and basically kind of stopped all the measurements that the Trump administration was taking to instill the ban. Don't know how long that's gonna last, right? But
it's very tenuous, you know.
It's a very strenuous thing, and I hope that everyone affected gets back on their feet, and people who are allowed to be in this country legally are welcome to do so, including people in the industry, obviously. But yeah, a nice little. It's kind of it's a glimmer of hope. You know, it's a very
it's a
light at the end of the tunnel a little bit.
It's a very kind and necessary gesture in these sort of like weird,
trying times,
weird times that we're going through.
Yeah,
it's nice to see that a lot of heads of gaming have come out and said like we don't support this. This isn't America. This isn't how things should work.
Yeah, exactly.
And those voices are very necessary.
Yeah, especially for trying to not to get into it too far, but especially for like gaming as a medium where a lot of people use it as an escape from the real world, and and I would imagine for a lot of people it's even hard to like do something fun right now, especially if this kind of thing affects them or their families directly, but it's definitely cool to see individuals, heads of studios and even publishing companies come out and say, hey, this is not cool, and this is not what we're about, this is not what America's about, etc., etc. And I'm pretty sure that these stories are not going to, there's not going to be a stop to them. I'm pretty sure we're going to continue hearing about these acts of good, hopefully, within the industry. Hopefully, also, I would like to see huge publishers come out and like say, hey, we're going to do this and this for individuals who are not allowed in the country, who work for us or have games, stuff like that. So hopefully that's the case in the future. But yeah, moving on. I think we can move on. Did you have anything to add to that, Ben?
No. I mean, we pretty much... It's a very good thing that Devolver Digital is doing, and it's considered.
Brownie points, man.
Yeah.
I love them. They were at PAX. They had a small presence at PAX, but it was great.
I think they're always at
they go to
every
everything.
PAX.
They go to everything, and
cool. Why not, right?
Yeah.
Like it's always fun to see Devolver.
Hell yeah, it's always great to see them there.
So I believe before we get to probably the
most toxic,
the biggest story.
It's the sandwich that a good thing, bad thing. Maybe we'll
like that
we'll
sandwiches. We should have sandwiches after we're done here.
Grilled cheese.
I literally
still up for that grilled cheese.
I literally bought ham and stuff today to make sandwiches.
Hell yeah,
nice.
Grilled cheese and wine.
Ooh.
Oh, that sounds nice right now.
Well, we'll see what happens.
We need to learn how to properly pair that cheese with the wine.
Right,
So we're gonna cover something a little bit bigger that's probably gonna take most of our time. But first, we should cover the Zenimax versus Oculus lawsuit that
or technically Facebook.
Oculus and Zenimax and Facebook,
right.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it is centered around Oculus.
It is, yes.
But those two companies have been going at it for about 4 years now, I believe. Ever
since the accusation started a couple years ago. Yeah.
Yes, and this I don't know if it's this week in particular, but like relatively.
I think it happened last week.
Yeah, it might have been last week. Zenimax won a $500 million lawsuit, or $500 million case against Oculus that covered an NDA that was broken by, is it Palmer Luckey?
Good old Palmer Luckey.
Palmer Luckey.
Yeah.
That's a $500 million mistake.
That's a lot. Yeah. Take your NDA seriously, no matter what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. So, in the saga of this lawsuit, Oculus had won out against Zenimax over Zenimax's claim that that Oculus had stolen technology from him.
John Carmack in particular.
Yes, and this was this lawsuit. That particular case, I think, ended last year or the year before that.
Right.
This latest one is another continuous effort from Zenimax to probably. I'm not even sure quite what their goal is anymore.
Zenimax's goal?
Besides trying to cash out as much as possible.
So this is the thing I think a lot of people aren't 100% aware of, but Zenimax in particular has, I think, a small studio and investment in VR themselves. So this might be, I mean, hey, 500 million is a cool amount to put into
anything
to R&D. for that. And especially, they're technically one of the biggest media companies / publishers, and then they have some of the biggest game franchises under their nose. That and VR just goes hand in hand. So I think this was an easy way for them to get that kind of money, Plus, it's very clear that they did have a reasonable, that they had a reason a lawful reason to pursue this lawsuit as well,
Yeah, I mean, everything, like, this is, like, as shady as it may seem, this is, like, typical business practice.
Yeah.
Zenimax felt like they lost something in Oculus's development, and they were pursuing financial repercussions for that.
Yeah.
And that's $500 million worth.
That's a lot of money, and you know what? Also, Oculus has been kind of under the microscope for the past maybe year or so, mostly because of like unfulfilled Kickstarter fulfillments or whatever, and also all the stuff that happened with Palmer Luckey that we discussed a little bit, I believe, at the end of last year, where they found out that he was using some of his funds to fund anti-Hillary, pro-Trump meme bullshit. I don't know. And so he's been kind of out of the limelight for a while because it's not a good look for Facebook, right? And then this, considering that it's very clear that's partially something that he was involved in. I wouldn't be surprised if he was out the door at some point. Someone's going to replace him as the face, the voice of Oculus. Yeah, it's not a good time for Oculus at the moment.
Yep.
And
I mean, they might even get, just straight up not allowed to sell their product
out of commission. Yeah, so that was one of the. I think that was another thing that Zenimax was pursuing, to basically take Oculus off shelves.
I believe that isn't completely solidified, but it is a possibility that Zenimax will pursue the basically de-shelving of the Oculus Rift.
And I think that would be detrimental to their business plan, especially against HTC and their Vive, and.
Not to mention, it would be a gigantic loss for Facebook.
Absolutely. I mean, how much did they spend?
$2 billion to buy Oculus. Yeah, and then they're out another $500 million from this current lawsuit. And if they basically, if it ends up that Oculus just has to shut down, then that is another
down the drain.
Giant loss.
Yeah. And whatever people may think of Oculus as a company, in particular Palmer Luckey, it's not good for VR as a whole, I think. It's not. This is not a good thing.
Thankfully, we do have Sony being the current industry leader for that,
absolutely.
which is doing
I think it's doing okay.
Them. Yeah, I think it's doing well
to be fair, I'm going to say that there have not been any PSVRs out in the wild. Like, they're hard to come by.
Yes.
I believe a new batch is coming up soon, but they sold fairly well. That I'm aware of. I think that a lot of people's interest is kind of slimmed down a little bit because there hasn't been like that big game, with an exception of Resident Evil,
recently,
sure. But Resident Evil's huge. I just think that
apparently that is the game.
Yeah, that is the game.
That's the system.
It's the first AAA to come out on it, and it's
fully playable.
People are saying like, this is why you get it.
Yeah,
this is how you should play it.
Yeah,
this is why you would get it. If you're not interested, then you probably don't want it.
Exactly. We'll see what happens with Oculus. Let's see what the repercussions are, specifically from Facebook. I can't imagine what those conversations are like. Like, Palmer, God damn it, here we go again. I laughed when I saw this. I woke up to this on Wednesday morning. I got a ton of notifications about this one.
So,
Capella, please.
Apparently, GameStop employees are currently feeling like they need to lie to their customers due to a policy that GameStop has implemented sometime last year, I believe, called the Circle of Life.
Right.
And
I feel like this is Illuminati bullshit right now. Like, this is conspiracy Illuminati things happening.
This is a tangible thing that...
Todd, you got any tattoos on you, Todd? Where's that pyramid?
Nah, man.
Where's that Circle of Life logo?
I'm not that deep in.
I know they brand you.
God.
They brand you upon entering.
My God, that's
so let's break down what the Circle of Life is, first of all.
Right.
The Circle of Life is GameStop's fundamental business practice, right?
To stay afloat.
To stay afloat. They believe that people buy new games.
Right.
when they're done with those new games,
they trade them in.
And
they buy used games with that credit. And therefore, that also justifies the fourth pillar of the circle of life it justifies the power-up rewards card, which is their membership card that gives you a discount on used games, and you get more free to trade. So, yeah, that's their belief, their core belief of how their system works, basically.
Now, apparently, this business practice is terribly flawed.
It's very flawed.
A lot of GameStop employees have anonymously come forward, saying that this business practice encourages them to continuously lie to the customer,
right?
And for the company's sales, in order for them to keep their jobs.
Yeah,
like a lot of people have felt like this system puts them under threats of losing their jobs if they do not meet certain quotas.
Or unjust punishment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I know a lot of friends who have worked for GameStop.
Yes, myself included.
Yourself included. Although you might not want to. We might want to like blur your name out.
Don't worry about it.
Like a redacted symbol.
Don't worry about it.
Put a big old censor bar on top of Todd's eyes right now.
Yeah,
there's a video here.
It's okay. We'll edit it in.
The GameStop Illuminati is going to go straight to this video and just.
I'd say we have 4 people we know.
I mean, I know a ton, but like you folks, you probably know a few people as well. I think we all know because of the circles we roam in.
Yeah.
Right.
So something I'm going to mention really quickly about the Circle of Life. The Circle of Life is nothing new. The Circle of Life has been around even before when EB Games was still a thing, except it was enforced differently, and it wasn't a quota that was was such an issue for individual employees. So basically, the reason why employees are feeling threatened with their jobs and feel almost a need to be dishonest with their customers just to meet these quotas is because the quotas is so terrible. So basically, what it is, and of course GameStop came out the next day or the day after in that Kotaku article, 2 of which we're going to post in the description below because that's where the source is, right? Written by Jason Schreier. It's basically like GameStop doesn't make money from brand new product, right? Because obviously the developer and the publisher and the people who make the consoles, that's where most of that money goes. On a brand new game, say for example Resident Evil that just came out, GameStop makes $5 off of one copy, which is $65, which means the rest of it goes to Capcom and the devs, so on and so on and so on, right? But on a used product, a used copy of Resident Evil 7, it's full profit. Right? Because the game has already been purchased. That money has already gone to the developer and the publisher. Therefore, it's a resale, pure profit. Right? Mm-hmm. So basically, the way the system is set up is that it wants, obviously it's a business. They want to stay afloat. It makes sense. But, they're basically telling their employees to say, hey, you have to sell more used product than new because that's what makes us the most money. And in a lot of cases, according to the article of individuals that Jason Schreier had the pleasure of speaking to, a lot of them have even said that they've denied that they've had new stock of game. And an example that was used and one that I even ran into myself this past Sunday was Watch Dogs 2. Yeah, Watch Dogs 2 was on sale for $29.99 brand new. But the thing is, what a lot of people don't understand is that the used copy of that does not fluctuate with the new one. So that one was still at $54.99. So, hey, people are going to come in and buy the new copy. Therefore, if people come in and do that, it hurts the employees' need for a high used product sale and percentage. So, and there will be occasions, or according to the article, that some people say, hey, we don't actually have a new copy of the game, but we have a used copy. It's at $54.99, right? And there's been a couple of quotes there of people, of employees, not even mentioning that the game is on sale, denying that the game is on sale, all this, not even offering to mention the new game, the new version of a game or console at all. And that's a problem. It's dishonest. And as somebody who has worked for GameStop, I will say that I have on many occasions seen this happen for years and years and years. And I think if anyone were ever to come up and ask me, like, hey, just read this article, what say you? It's like, you know what? You don't have to believe me, but I've never, in my entire time working there, have been dishonest about something. I even go out of my way to tell people, hey, you can find a better deal on Amazon or on the PlayStation Store. I have no problem saying that, right? Because it's about the customer, making sure they're happy with what they get, and that they return, right? It's a big problem. Especially if it threatens people's jobs. And it's very clear because the follow-up article on Friday was at least 50 or 60 anonymous quotes from people feeling the same way. And it's detrimental to not just the company, but the employees, the workforce, and their morale. It's just a bad thing.
And I imagine this, it's absolutely true that this particular system has been going on for years. You know?
Just more, like I said, more enforced now.
Our mutual GameStop friends have always complained about GameStop's shitty practices.
They're pretty fucking terrible.
You know, as a person who has worked at gaming retail before, like I am familiar.
Yeah.
Right. Obviously different circumstances for different companies, but
absolutely.
It's always been apparent that, you know, GameStop tends to
they're shady.
Yeah, tends to be a lot shady, really shady. You know, a lot shadier than you think that they are. I lost my train of thought.
That's
there.
okay.
Yeah,
GameStop being shady.
I suppose what I'm trying to get at is like this isn't anything new.
It's not.
However, it's just being put in the light more.
I think it's not even that it's being put in the light more. I just think that GameStop has become a lot more aggressive about it. That it is actually now putting their more permanent fixture people, the people who like dedicate themselves to GameStop or who work there, a lot more. You know, like key holders and you know, managers.
Right.
It makes them feel threatened. Like their job security is at risk because of these practices, which is shitty.
It is.
You know, it's not a good thing.
It's very clear to me that morale is really low in the workforce of this company. And I'm going to be honest, and I say this not necessarily because I've always been at odds with GameStop, not just as an employee, but just as somebody who loves the industry and wants to make sure it's healthy and not toxic. And that's a hard thing to kind of achieve. But this is, I think, the first nail in the coffin. The one that's been kind of looming, you know, kind of going in there is digital. Mm-hmm. And digital, I guarantee you, once broadband or once internet is really considered a utility and not a luxury, and it's more affordable, it's faster in the United States, and gaming sales in particular go down, you know, the prices go down because there's no longer a need to manufacture a disc, cut out the middleman. I think that at some point, people will have no reason to want to. Well, hopefully, will have a reason to want physical games. I think there'll always be a market for them, but I think that it may be in 5 or 10 years, there's going to be less people that are going to want to go out and buy a game when they can do so in the comfort of their own home for a lot less money. I think that this in particular, we've always heard stories of GameStop in the past, maybe 10, 15 years. You know, we've heard all kinds of stuff. Kotaku's reported a lot about them in the past. But I think this is the one that's going to hit big because the gaming industry, especially now when the internet is it's just so focused, I don't think this is going to be one story that people are going to let go. And I've already seen that, especially in the Kotaku comments where the article comes from, a ton of people, it's like, well, I stopped shopping there a long time ago. And it's like a lot of them, like, I had no idea, I'm never going to shop there again. Mm. And as somebody who made the big mistake of perusing the GameStop subreddit, good lord. Do people have a reason to be mad? Abso-fucking-lutely. But I think that this is the aggressiveness of the program is desperation. Yeah. And then them acquiring ThinkGeek out of all things. I mean, the store now looks like GameStop stores look like Hot Topics now. They look like trinket stores because a lot of that real estate is taken up by Funko Pops and gaming T-shirts. Which there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not complaining about that. I'm just making an observation. That's like, it's very clear that gaming sales for them, at least their used product, is not cutting it anymore.
Mm-hmm. Gotta make money somehow.
And you know what? And I think one of the smarter decisions that they made was getting into publishing. The first game they published was Song of the Deep that came out last year. And I think did okay. And they have 2 games coming out this year. One from Ready at Dawn, which is Deformers, and one that I got to play at PAX called Has Been Heroes, which I'll talk about a little later. But I'm not sure that that's going to save them from the inevitable kind of collapse and the overshadowing that hey, Amazon has a really good gaming trade-in system, and Best Buy has a way better membership than GameStop. Get your membership from Best Buy. If you still buy physical, do it. It's way better. Trust me. Or you could just go buy your stuff digitally.
I feel like any moment we're gonna have like secret agents kicking in Todd's door. It's like you've said too much. You must be taken out.
We'll see what happens if I say this. Maybe I'll edit some of this out. So in the mornings at a GameStop retail store, what comes up on the TV, where usually you see commercials and all that kind of bullshit, is usually a message from corporate, or like tips of how to sell stuff and blah blah blah. You know how it is, corporate bullshit. So every morning, the CEO, at least for the past couple months, I believe, has had a message of how to further convey the Circle of Life program. And I believe this past Friday, after this came up, there was no video.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
No video, which is an everyday thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, that is a message in and of itself.
Absolutely.
When they're under, they really can't afford any more scrutiny.
Like, no, they can't. No.
Like they're already known for like being an industry of shady practices that is sort of holding gaming back. When you really think about it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Like they're kind of holding gaming back, and they have been in a very slow transition into a glorified gaming gift shop.
Basically. Yeah. And then maybe in the recent 5 years, they started taking trades for like phones and tablets. They started selling tablets in stores, but now they don't. You can get them online, but now the storefront doesn't have tablets because it wasn't actually doing it for them. Because why on earth would you go to GameStop to buy a tablet when you can buy it from Amazon or from Best Buy or a place that actually knows what the fuck they're talking about with the tablets?
Like your actual phone retailer.
Exactly.
Where you'll get where you will get deals like, get this plan, here's a tablet for $1.
Exactly, right.
There was no need for shelf space for that.
No, there wasn't. No, and I was working there at the time, nobody came in and bought that stuff. Rarely did people come in and buy it. And they also acquired Cricket along the way, or they partnered with Cricket, which I guarantee you has not done any good for them. Not to say that Cricket's a bad company, but like I really don't understand the business plan for like, hey, we sell games, you sell phones, let's get together. It makes no fucking sense. Would you be surprised if in 10 years what they sold was dishwashers? I don't know.
GameStop brand dishwashers.
Yeah. But I want to go around the room real quick. Capello, when was the last time you bought a game at GameStop proper?
At GameStop?
Yeah.
Okay. It actually wasn't that long ago. For Pokemon Sun and Moon, I did buy that.
That was in December? November?
December.
End of November.
End of November, I think. Around that time.
Right.
Holiday season. I got that because I wanted that. I wanted to play it the hour it released.
Right.
So I did go to GameStop for that. There was one before that, which was for Monster Hunter Generations, but because I didn't want to wait for a physical copy to get shipped in.
Right.
Yeah.
We drove around 5 different Walmarts finding copies of Monster Hunter so we could play that very night.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
So
we were hunting for Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
Literally.
You were hunting.
So good.
You were monster hunting.
Yeah, and other than that, I mean, I do enjoy like actually perusing GameStop because they have some like neat stuff that I was like,
hey man, they do got some cool stuff.
Yeah, if I had a couple bucks, I'd buy this T-shirt.
Yeah.
If I had a couple bucks, I'd buy this like Street Fighter watch.
Right. Yeah. ThinkGeek doesn't have. I'd rather go with Jinx stuff, but ThinkGeek has some pretty okay stuff.
Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah. On the cheap.
And while I'm there perusing, maybe I want a game, right? But
right, of course.
For the most part, I never want to buy used games from GameStop anymore.
Yeah.
Because, well, for one, they're not worth their used price. You know, I would really rather either buy digital or buy a
brand new copy.
Yes.
Yeah. When I left GameStop in 2013, I was really adamant about not buying stuff from there anymore, and I did it for a while. Like I buy stuff on Amazon, I buy stuff directly from the PlayStation or Xbox Live or Steam because that's when I first got my PC. But the thing is, eventually, I think that a lot of the things that people particularly go to GameStop for, even if they don't particularly like it, is convenience, being able to drive somewhere really quickly to do it, and 2, because they can trade in stuff. And despite my dislike of the trade-in system, not because it saves people money, but because it means that GameStop makes money off a used sale when I'd rather the developer make that money. It's a trying time, and not for a lot of people, $60 can be a lot of money. For some, maybe it's not that much, but games are expensive, right? Yeah. So, are people going to take advantage of this? Absolutely. Do I have a problem with them taking advantage of it? No. But I wish there was just a better system where the developer got a kickback of that, because they absolutely deserve it. They're the ones who put their heart and soul into the game. Mm-hmm. And if it sounds preachy, I'm sorry, you're listening to a gaming podcast. So, that's what it's about.
These are the things we're passionate about.
Exactly. So, Ben, when was the last time you bought a game from GameStop? Which is probably really recently.
Yesterday.
Which is Resident Evil, right?
Yeah, Resident Evil. Before that, Sun and Moon?
Probably around there. No, Final Fantasy. Well, I picked it up for you, but
that's true.
Final Fantasy.
I mean, they've all been new copies.
Right. No, I'm not.
But like, when
I'm
it
not
comes
trying to accuse people. I just want to know.
Last time that I've traded in.
Oh, it's been a while for me.
I think it's been a bit.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't even bother, because my catalog of games sells for like $2 at GameStop.
Right,
like
yeah.
My entire
those memes of like, here's my entire collection, how much you get? Nah, $10.
$10.
$10.
They are not exexaggerated, my friend. In fact, go ahead.
No, like I forgot when it was. This was back in the original Xbox times. Where I was like, oh man, I guess I'll trade in these 5-6 games and I'll get me a new game. And they went like, yeah, you have around, this one's $2. This one, 10 cents. This one, 30 cents. I'll give you about a nickel for that one. And I'd stared at the guy and was like, you know what?
I'd rather just keep them.
Yeah, I'd rather just keep them.
My brother recently, he was looking at our catalog of Xbox games, and he went up to me because I had bought a lot of those the Xbox 360 games that we had,
right,
including the Dragon Age trilogy, the original ones, so Origins, right. 2 and
the DLC for Origins Awakening. No, wait, I'm thinking about something else.
And he came up to me and was like, can I trade these in? You know, because we don't use them anymore. We don't play them anymore. And I looked at him and I go, you realize they're going to give you 5 cents for those 3 games,
50
right?
cents.
50, a whole 50 cents. They're going to give you a whole quarter.
It's enough to buy a burger in 1950.
In
1950.
You won't even be able to buy a pack of gum if you sell those 3 games. And I was like, just don't even bother. Like they're worth more in nostalgic value than they are in actual currency.
Yeah, it's truth. It's the truth. Man.
It's kind of ridiculous, you know. Like the games that do still have a lot of value are usually like
newer games,
like a lot
or vintage
games,
stuff.
So old they become retro.
Yeah.
Like those are the ones that carry value, but for a lot of like the Xbox 360 throwaway titles, you know, like you're not gonna get it.
No, you're not gonna get anything for them. I always, even now, like I'm so surprised when people come in, and some of them are not, you know, they're not necessarily educated in gaming, right? They don't know it, but it's like, hell, I got this copy of NBA 2K11. It's like I bought it for $60. Like, yeah, but it sure ain't worth that much anymore, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. You get like 5 cents for that thing.
We have 2K15 now.
I shit you not.
There's other versions of it now.
Yeah. Sports games in particular are a problem. But the system is bad. The system's always been bad. And GameStop, karma is coming.
You know it.
It's gonna happen.
It. The American people know it.
The American people know it.
No one wants to admit it.
No. And it's the thing. Like, one of the quotes that I read from that last article, I'll just mention really quickly, is I think he was an assistant manager. I believe he or she was an assistant manager, and they said, it's very clear at the end of his statement. It's like it's very clear that everyone that works at this company knows that
it's shady.
That knows that we're at the edge of the cliff, except for the people at the top. Either they don't know, or they're ignorant, or they're just waiting for it to happen. My suggestion is avoid doing business with them if you can, if you can afford it, right? You know, now with PlayStation Store and on Xbox Live, the deals are getting to a point where they kind of they kind of mirror almost what Steam does on usually, right? Really, really good sales. And just support the dev. You know, they work hard making the game, and I guarantee you, publishers don't actually like working with GameStop because it's not good for them. But it's like they almost don't have a choice, but they do. There's Amazon, there's other retailers.
There's more and more of a choice as GameStop's grip on the gaming industry
just kind of withers.
Lessening more and more.
Yeah. But again, if trading games in to be able to get that new hot game, to be able to get Resident Evil or Horizon or whatever, if that's the only way you can get that, I totally understand that. I've been there. I know what that's like. But there has to be a better way to implement these practices. Maybe
it feels extra bad for me because it's so damn close.
No, yeah, it's like literally you could walk there.
Like I've gone out to do like a quick errand, and I'll go.
See
I'll
what's
just
there.
walk around in the GameStop, see what's there.
And this is the thing also I'm going to mention is that, there's a lot, just like in any kind of industry, retail, anywhere, there are a lot of assholes. There are a lot of really terrible people that are really shady and will do anything to make sure that they meet their quotas. I think that GameStop in particular, GameStop is really easy to hate, just like Call of Duty or something, right? And while I guarantee you, yes, there are assholes, there are people that absolutely don't care about you, and don't have a passion for the gaming industry, but a lot of them do. I wouldn't necessarily lash out at employees unless they're assholes. Then by all means, it's the company, not necessarily the people. Yeah.
I think to round us out, we have something special.
Oh,
which
we do?
is an anonymous report.
Oh, that's right.
Exclusive to the NPC party.
Right. You went to get this statement last night, right?
Yes.
Did you meet like at an IHOP or like behind some bar or something?
It was at a shady
it was under a bridge.
Whoa.
They asked me to. I was asking around for Deep Throat. And
wow, weird.
I have a eyewitness or an anonymous report on the inner workings of GameStop and their circle of life.
Really?
Yes.
Holy shit. Well, we'll take a listen to that, and then after that, we'll see you next time.
Yep.
Okay. Let's listen to that tape, Capella. I'm so curious to see what the fuck this is. Some pipe-hitting journalism.
Mysterious person has to say.
I wonder.
All right, is the sound on?
Yes, sir. We're rolling.
Okay, everything's good?
Yeah, I double-checked it.
All right, okay, good. This is an NPC Party exclusive interview. We have across the table today a Mr. Deep Throat, who is here to provide insider detail on GameStop's terrifying policies. Mr. Throat, I am to believe that you came from the upper echelons.
Hold on, is that thing on? Are you sure it's on? This is important.
Well, we're recording. We're live.
Okay. Yes. That's me.
Well, Mr. Throat, can you tell us in detail what these Circle of Life practices are? What do they mean for employees?
So, there's a secret step within the Circle of Life. Whenever we hand a customer a new game, each case has a little needle. Gives them a little prick on their finger. We track their playtime through their blood. And we know exactly when they're going to trade that game back in. And if they don't trade it in within the predicted time, we bombard them with emails, notifications. We remind them that the trade credit will decrease the longer they keep it. And if that doesn't work, we issue a fake recall. Salmonella, Russians. I followed their kids to school.
That sounds so very interesting. Do you have any more?
Yeah, absolutely. We hide our new inventory to up used game sales, and if the customers ever find that stash, well, it's rigged to blow, my friend.
Rigged to blow?
Yeah.
Wow. This truly gives us a terrifying take on GameStop's underground practices.
Yeah.
Please, continue.
The CEO is a vampire.
A vampire?
Yes. Fangs and everything. I got proof, okay?
Well, I mean, this truly is a terrifying... please, more.
That's not even half of it, guys. Wait. You hear that? Were you followed here?
What?
Is that a fucking helicopter?
What the?
Get out! You need to leave now!
Shit! Come on, hell! Run! Turn off the camera! Turn it off!